Hey, I'm Becca with the Happy Ever Crafter, and today I'm going to show you how you can make a super easy watercolor background for your lettering using just a Ziploc bag and some Tombow pens. For materials for this video, I'm going to be using Canson watercolor paper. It doesn't have to be Canson, you can use whatever watercolor paper you want, or you could even use regular paper, but because we're going to be putting water on it, it tends to kind of mess up your paper if it's not thick enough, so just make sure it's a nice thick paper. And then you'll need a Ziploc bag or another kind of similar plasticky surface and something to put water onto it. So I use the Pentel Aqua brush, and I'll link to that below, but it doesn't have to be that, just something that you can use to make water droplets. And then I'm using Tombow dual brush markers as always. So I'll just hop in and show you. This is one of my favorite techniques ever. Okay, so I've chosen my 3 colors. You can use as many colors as you want, but in my experience, 3 is kind of the magic number for this trick. And you want to keep in mind what the blends of each color are going to look like. So my yellow and blue I know will make a bit of a green, and my purple and yellow, or sorry, my blue and pink will make sort of a purple. So you just don't want to be picking colors that are going to make brown, for example. And so just keep that in mind when you're picking them out. And the more contrasting they are, usually the better it turns out. So all I'm going to do, super easy, is just dump a bunch of color, sort of in sections of 3. And again, it doesn't have to be, but this is kind of the magic formula I've figured out. So you can have them touch each other, it's not a huge deal, but you're basically just making a combination of colors. And then you're gonna dump your water on top, and you want to use enough water that it's gonna work, but you also don't want to use too much that it's gonna make a huge disaster and be super soaking the page. So I do about that many drops. And then you're going to take your watercolor paper and just put it over top and press down. You want to press down nice and firmly. And if you're using a table that you really care about, I would probably put some newspaper or something underneath. And then you're going to carefully grab the bag and the paper and flip them over. So you can see these little blends that it's made so far. And you're just going to squish the water around to kind of perfect it and fill in the gaps. So you can see kind of in the middle here, I probably should have used another drop of water, but generally there's enough that you can spread it around using the Ziploc bag and kind of make it fill in those gaps. And I generally will leave the ends like sort of unfinished and look like a splatter. I just want to make it nice and solid in the middle. But again, that's just my personal choice. It doesn't have to be like that. And then when you lift it up, just take a piece of paper towel and sort of blot the excess spots. And you have a super fun, pretty watercolor background. So again, you can keep adding more and more layers to this if you want to and keep mixing things on top, but just wait till it's completely dry before you letter on top. But that's pretty much all there is to the famous Ziploc watercolor background trick.